Hey everybody, Ron here with Solo Operative Games. Today we're in Tabletop Simulator and we're going to be playing a game of Skara Brae. This is the latest creation by Shem Phillips from Garfield Games. This one's illustrated by Sam Phillips and it's part of their Ancient Anthology series along with Ezra Nehemiah and Legacy of You. It's on Kickstarter right now and you can go to that page to download the Tabletop Simulator mod, completely free to try it out before you back it. And it's being backed kickstarted alongside another game by Garfield Games called The Anarchy, and that is a sequel roll and write to Hadrian's Wall. So if you're interested in either of those, go check them out. Today we're going to be playing the solo mode and I'll be teaching as I go. Skara Brae is a game that can be played up to 4 players. We'll be playing it solo today, and it is a resource management, worker placement, and card drafting game. So let's get started. The Tabletop Simulator mod is pretty much completely automated. So we'll pick one player here and hit start. And what we have to do in the initial setup is we're given 9 base tiles that are our action tiles, and we get to add a 10th custom one that's different every game. So that gives it the replayability and asymmetrical nature. And we've got 3 choices here. We have the recruit tile. Normally in this game it's going to be played over 4 rounds, and each round we're given 1 additional worker. So 1 worker in the first round, 2 in the second, 3, and then 4. With the recruit tile, it allows us to recruit additional workers to place. It can be good. It can be hard to manage the number of workers because you have to get them and you use them for the rest of the round and then they go away. So if you get them in the last part of the round, they're kind of worthless. I don't usually play that one. I find it's not as powerful as some of the other ones. The explore tile, it allows us to draw additional cards and play them, additional settlers, if we take a settler. Can be good. It's a little bit dependent on some of the other things we see. And then the last one is the innovate tile. This is going to allow us to take craft actions. Normally the craft action is to upgrade your tiles and make them better, and it's going to cost the resources on the bottom of each tile. If you have the innovate, you pay food or bones resource, and you get to do that craft with a 2 discount. So basically, instead of paying what's on the bottom of the tile, you're paying bones and food, which are a little easier to come by sometimes. And so, innovate is going to allow us to make our tiles a lot better. It's pretty strong. I like using it. But before we make the decision, let's look at our cards that we were given. This is only part of the solo game, but you're given 1 focus card out of, I think there's like 8 or 10 of these, something like that, and it's your end game goal. If you don't do it, you lose 5 points, and this one specifically says we want to furnish 5 times or more. So that can be good. Furnishing doesn't do your engine much, but it gives you a lot of endgame points, so that's okay. We're also given 4 task cards. These are -2 each if we don't accomplish them, and these are going to give us a main action. We happen to have 2 furnish, which goes along with this furnish, a clean and a cook, and these allow you to do those actions without paying a worker. You pay the extra resources instead. So we need to come up with a lot of wood, stone, shells, and seaweed if we're going to do this throughout the game. Based on needing to furnish a lot, none of these cards really go along with that. They'll all work, but none of them are like screaming at me like you have to take this card. So I like innovate. Let's try it. Let's go ahead and go with it and see how we do. So we just hit L to lock it in there. Go rid of these 2 and officially start the game. So when ready, hit the ready button. It'll handle everything for us. In the multiplayer game, you're drafting cards, so that I think there's players +1 cards, and you pull 1 and your neighbor and everything. In the solo game, to simulate that kind of drafting, we have 3 turns. In the first turn, we'll pick from 4 cards, and then we'll discard all of those, and then we'll draw 3, pick from those, and then draw 2 and pick from those. So each turn we get a little fewer options of what cards we want to pick. So we've been given 4 cards here to pick from. These all happen to be settlers. Settlers come from one of 4 colors: the shore, the hills, the thicket, in the fields. We happen to have 2 shore people, 1 fields, and 1 hills. And when you bring on one of these settlers into your camp, you're going to get resources based on the symbols that you have, and they're going to stack. So if we took this blue symbol, we would get 1 either shell or seaweed. But if in a later turn we took another, then we'd have 2 blue symbols, and we get a shell and a seaweed, or 2 shells or 2 seaweed. And that top action is mandatory. You must take all the resources, and I'll explain why that's important. Then optionally you can do their bottom action. This was an interesting draw because a lot of these are going to give us a resource based on the top, and then based on another column, another set of resources or symbols give us more resources. Not good to draw at the beginning of the game because we don't have any of those symbols. So right away, all 3 of these are just worthless to us in the first draw. So we didn't have much of a choice. Oh, whoa. I don't know why she went flying up there. That was weird. She really didn't want to join our camp. So we're going to get either a shell or a seaweed. Shells are good for trading because they're kind of cheap. And they're also good to upgrade a few of these cards. We're also going to need 3 of them to do this task. Seaweed is used to upgrade these 2 cards and used to clean. And then we have a task there. So really either one's going to be fine. I would like to do a trade action, and to do a trade action it's this track over here. We're going to need 2 of some resource to trade, and so we can't get that normally, but there is a way. If we persuade her a little bit, I guess, with a knife. I guess we're handing her the knife and she's going to collect seaweed, and so now she collects a little more seaweed. Or it could be we're just like, go get more seaweed, lady, or we're gonna cut you or something. I don't know. But anyway, so we'll take our 1 seaweed normally, and then I'm gonna spend this knife to gain a second. That will be her top action. Her bottom action will be she brought a lovely little fish with her. You can see it in the picture. And she's brought us a fish. All right, let's talk about how this storage mechanism works. All resources are stored left of this little slider. And so at the beginning, we only had room to store 3 things. As soon as we got our 4th thing, the slider moved over to accompany it. And as you move this slider further and further over to store more things, you're going to produce more and more waste. This is called midden. And right now originally we were generating 0. Now we're generating 1. It can get worse and worse. And if you get too bad, you're losing points at the end of the game. And we don't ever get to just slide this to the left whenever we want. We have to take a specific action, a clean action, to move it back left. And we would like to do that by the end of the game because midden is worth negative points and these red ones are negative points. So this game is about getting just enough resources and not too many. Okay, so we did her action. Now we do the worker placement, and in the first round we only have 1 worker. And so, as I mentioned, I'd like to do this trade action. So let's go ahead and do that. And we need to spend, to move this bag up, we need to spend 2 of something. So I'll go ahead and spend our 2 seaweed that we just got. And that is going to move the marker over. All that gives us is points. However, if we spend a knife, it's on this card, spend a knife, we persuade that person we traded with. We're like, okay, I love the points you're giving me, but stab, give me a resource as well. I'm gonna spend that knife, and the first trade is gonna cow. We're so thankful for that cow. Thank you. I don't know how we got it. Gave him a knife. He gave us a cow. Cool. And that's our first turn. And we have 3 of those in the first round. So we go ahead and hit the ready button again. It's going to recall our workers. The card drawing script is not working right now, so you just have to manually draw those 3 cards for the second turn. And so we've got 3 different people here. We're not all we're seeing is settlers. There are other cards. But again, if we stack the scroll, we're going to get 2 resources and a fish. So I like to focus on 1 column usually. My preference is to go with the gather. Or I mean the hills. Those are my favorite one. Not too fond of the shore. I don't like these resources very much. So I like to focus on one column, but there's a set collection aspect as well for points where you need like one of each color or two of each color, just sets of unique colors. So you can't ignore columns if you want to score lots of points. Because we're going to be furnishing, or hopefully we're going to be furnishing a lot, that does increase the points that we get for having settlers and sets of settlers. So I want to try to do that. This dude would give us a sheep, but we'd have to trade 2 rocks. We don't have 2 rocks, so he's kind of worthless to us right now. This guy would give us a wood and then a bunny. We have a nice little set of animals going on. Eventually, these animals are going to be providing food for us when we take the cook action. By default, we can only do 4 hearth limit of food, and to cook this cow takes all 4. So we wouldn't be able to cook the fish as well. And even if we got a second fish or a second rabbit, there are also 2. So we'd have to cook twice. At the end of the round, we have to feed every single settler 1 food, minus the number of roofs we produce. There's 2 ways to produce roofs. You can draft them in the cards, or we can do a clean action. That will produce roofs for us as well. I think let's just go in on... The first round is hard because you do not have a lot to work with. But I'm going to go ahead and grab a second shore person. So we can collect 2 shells or 2 seaweed. Let's go back to the 2 seaweed here, like before, and a fish. Where do we want to place our worker this round? We could cook. One thing I really like to do is upgrade the craft action very early, because it's on the back side, it's upgraded side, you get a free cook action at the end of every round. It's like a free action. I think it's one of the best ones to upgrade. We don't have the resources to upgrade it though, and we also don't have 2 food or 2 bones. However, if we cooked, we would. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and cook right now. And again, I cooked up to 4 things, so I'll just cook my cow. I'm going to provide 2 food, a hide, which is used for furnishing, so that's great. And then also 2 bones, which we can use to innovate on our next turn. So we are now up to producing 2 midden every round. And we go into our 3rd draw here. So we're given another shore. But this guy's a little better. We can take some of the seaweed we're given and turn it into barley. But the other option we have is a roof. And again, roofs, if you draft them, are worth 2 points, and they make you have to feed 1 less person. So if we drafted this roof, we'd only have to feed 1 person, so we'd have more than enough food. If we didn't, we'd have 3 people, and we'd have to get 1 more food somewhere. And I think that's going to be okay. So I'm going to go just all in on shore. Discard this 2-point roof. That's kind of hard. Did I mention the goal of this game is to score 45 points? That's considered a win. And then if you get 55, you're like, excellent. I've never got to 55 yet, so we'll see how we do today. Anyway, we got 3 blue symbols. I'm going to go ahead and collect 1 shell and 2 seaweed. And then we're going to go ahead and it's important you actually gain it first and then spend it so that this tracker can move to the appropriate place. So we gained our shell and 2 seaweed, and then we're going to spend a seaweed to gain 2 barley. That's going to move us over again. It's all right. I like to stay at the 3. Okay to go to the 4. Once you start getting 5, it's going to be very tough to recover, but it can be done. All right, for our worker placement, we're going to go here to innovate. Oh, we've got an interesting deal. We could spend the 3 seaweed we have to do a cook, and we don't really have to turn the craft card over. Another one we'd want to turn over first. Furnish is really nice to turn over. Trade is nice to turn over. Clean is like almost a must at some point. I think since we're going to be furnishing a lot, let's flip the furnish card. So I'm going to be spending 2 bones. And I can do a craft action for free, basically. So I know I said we're going to do the craft, but I kind of changed my mind based on this task card. So we flip this. So now we get to furnish. We get additional barley or a knife. That knife is going to help us do trades. So that is great. And so as a free action, let's go ahead and spend the 3 seaweed because we do need 3 food right now. So if you don't feed your people, they just leave. They're like, you're not feeding me. I'm hungry. I'm going to go somewhere else. So we spent that. We'll go ahead and flip that card over. So now we're not losing 2 points. So effectively, we're gaining 2 points. And then we're going to do a cook action for that. And we'll cook our 2 fish, which each have a value 2. So that's fine. Okay, that is the end of our round 1. When you do our end of round bonuses, we don't have any nighttime actions because we haven't flipped a card that gives us any. And then we need to pay our food. We have no roofs, so we need to pay 3 food. All right, and then we need to collect our midden. We are collecting 3 midden. Yeah, it's sorted it all for us and looks great. That was the first round, so we'll go ahead and click ready to move on to the second. This game is pretty quick. You can get into little AP trying to make decisions. Sometimes I have to like undo actions because I realize I don't have the resources and stuff, but yeah, it plays pretty quickly. Okay, in this round we have 2 roofs. It's really saying, hey, you should probably take a roof. But we've also got this guy keeps wanting to give us the sheep, and we're like, dude, we don't have any rocks. We only got 1 rock. And this girl, she gives us based on red. So both of these are no good. We'll go ahead and take 1 of these roofs. So we should take both, but we'll grab a roof. 2 victory points and 1 less person that we have to feed. All right, so now in round 2, we've got 2 workers. You'll see they're different sizes. In the game, you have 1 large grande worker and then 3 small. These small workers cannot be placed on the same tile, but the grande worker can go anywhere. So the game recommends that you only put, the big worker last because he's not restricted. We don't have to. Okay, so things we want to do. I would love to trade right now, but we would need 3 of something. So that's not going to happen. I could innovate because we got those 2 bones. You can also use food for the innovate action. I will probably want to upgrade clean next because we're starting to get a little bit of a waste problem. So maybe we'll do that and innovate. So let's spend 2 bones. What is on the backside of innovate? Oh, that's nice. We can innovate a tile and then we spend food to immediately activate that tile without spending a worker. That is crazy. Okay, I want to get that eventually, sooner than later. I'm not sure I can do it. No. Interesting. I think I would still have to pay the cost. So I was wondering if I could innovate the innovate tile and then pay a food to immediately innovate again, but I think I would need 2 bones to trigger it, then a food to trigger its bonus, and then 2 more bones. So if we were able to get cow or something, that would be. Not seeing how to get one because we could get a deer with 3 resources that help us with the bones and our food. I mean, I could go gather. I could send them to the fields to gather another barley, and then we'd have 3. But I won't have a knife, so I wouldn't get the. So maybe we should furnish. That will give us a knife. Maybe we innovate. I think those are the 2 actions we want to do. So first one's going to be furnish. That goes on this track here. The first time we furnish, we need 1 of whatever the resources are, and it's either 2 wool or 1 hide, and we do have the 1 hide, so we'll spend that, and that will go up on the furnish track. And now all of our people are still worth 1 point at the end, but if we get a set of 4 uniques, we get 2. So that was our furnace action. We either get a barley or a knife. I will take the knife. And then we'll go ahead and do an innovate by spending 2 bones. And we'll go ahead and flip over. We should just flip innovate. Get it now. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Oh, I should have put the worker on there to do that, but okay. So that was the end of that round. We'll hit ready. Draw 3 cards. We're given another roof. Okay. A yellow dude that would come with a barley, and he'll bring a bunny with him. And this guy is going to give us a stick, but then trade it for seaweed. I think we're going to do the yellow this time. Card these. And again, get 1 barley and 1 bunny. Cool. And then we're going to go ahead and do that trade action. And now we've got 3 barley, so we'll spend that. This up. We'll spend our knife. Deer. Oops, that's not the right deer. The way the trade thing goes is the more you trade, the more points it's worth, but the weaker the reward for doing the trade. Okay, so that was that. We've now got a deer and a rabbit. The total of that is going to be 5, so we could not cook both of those unless we flipped the cook card. Or there is another card that you can draft called a utensil that allows you to cook one more thing. It also makes you produce 1 less waste. What do I want to do with our last worker? Can't furnish, can't craft, can't clean, can't trade. So it looks like he's going to go out to gather something. So I think we're going to send him here to gain a wood. Wood's going to help us clean. It's kind of one of our weaker actions because we don't have multiple. All right, we'll hit ready and draft our last 2 cards for round 2. And here's a new one. This is called a stone ball. And when you take a stone ball, you are then given knives equal to the number of stone balls you have. So if you take a bunch of these, it can be really powerful, but having only 1 or 2 is kind of a waste. And so I'm going to grab this one. He works really well because he gives us rewards based on our blue symbols. So red will give us a wood, and then we've got 3 blue symbols, so we'll get 3 shells. And this is where a little bit of luck comes into the game in the order that the cards come out. You can see that one was really good for us, but some of the others that we've drafted have been pretty bad. And if you get 3 of those, you have no option. So some cards are much better than others, especially when they occur at the right time. Okay, so we've got a few things we can do. We do have our 3 shells to do this task, which give us a furnace action, but we don't have, right now we need 2 sets of something. So we need 2 hides or 4 wool or 2 wool and 1 hide. So we would need to do that. I do need to think about food here. Because, we might be in a little bit of trouble. We've got, 5 people and 1 roof. So we need to come up with 4 food. And I could flip the craft card now because I got to cook twice. I mean, I can cook twice, but it's both my workers. I could cook the deer along with a shell, and that would be 2. I could just cook 3 shells. That would be enough food to... No, I would need 1. Oh, I've got 1 more. So yeah, 3 shells would do it. Even 4 shells. Or a bunny and 2 shells. Maybe that's what we do. Now, let's go ahead and do that. So cook, we're going to cook a rabbit for 2. And then 2 shells. We've got enough food now to feed our people. 1 roof plus 4 equals 5. But now what do we want to do with our other worker? I would like to cook this deer for his bones so I can innovate again. Got 1 hide, so I can't furnish. I don't have 4 of a kind, so I can't trade. Have any of my tasks done? Could clean, but I've only got 1. No, I've got 2 things. Oh, that's not a bad thing. Let's do that. So we're going to come to clean, and we're going to spend, you've got to spend unique things, and we got at least 2 different things. So I can spend a wood and a hide. And that will get rid of 1 midden, and when we get rid of midden, we can either physically remove a midden or move the counter to the left. Moving the counter, we would still generate 3, so that's not going to help us right now, but we can just discard one of the midden. Okay, and then we get a roof for doing that. These roofs, because they're made of waste, are only worth 1 point. I don't know what that means, but you might have a very smelly roof. Okay, that is the end of round 2. So let's go ahead and handle end of round bonuses or actions. We don't have any nighttime, so we just feed our people. We're gonna have extra food because now we have 5 people minus 2 roofs is only 3. So we'll spend 3 food. And that's gonna be great for our innovate action to have an extra food here to do that, whatever we flip. Okay, so that was feeding our people, and now we generate 3 midden. And we go into the next round. We had a lot of waste in there. Start piling up. So we need to think about probably upgrading our clean card and then having 4 different resources or something. Okay, we've got another stone ball. I tend to ignore these. We've got ways of getting knives, so I don't really need more knives. This guy, he is so persistent with this sheep thing, but I just can't take you, dude. I don't need you. This girl, on the other hand, if we take her and then we get this guy in the later, we could have 2 rocks. This one we can have another deer. I don't need a second deer, so I'm gonna go grab this. If we furnish a lot, our sets will be, you know, kind of valuable. So having a set of 4 is great. Just shows her, right? So yeah, so we get 1 rock. That's mandatory, and now optionally I can trade it in for 2 barley. I think I will. Because now we've got 2 things we can clean with, a barley and a wood. Okay, so we definitely want to cook up this deer. We can have some bones. And then I think we want to cook a shell as well. Oh, I need 3 shells, so maybe cook 1 of the barley. I'm going to keep 1, but the other is extra. Okay. And I'm trying not to push this thing again. And I don't know if it's going to happen. So that was 1 cook action. Then we're going to go over to the innovate action. Spend our 2 bones. And we're going to flip. Remember, we can immediately do it. Oh, hold on that. Let's gain those back. Before I do it, I'm thinking about flipping the clean card. And if we look at the back of that, if we can get 3 unique things, we clean up 4. Oh, and food can be one of them. We've got a hide and a barley. So if we can get a wood or a seaweed before we do that, we could get 4 unique things. So let's go gather first. Let's go gather seaweed. Yeah, because there's not. Oh no, we already have unique things. We have the hide, the wheat, stick, or the barley, the stick, and the food. Okay, so I guess we don't need to do that. Let's just come here. Yeah. Okay. So spending 2 bones. We're then going to flip the clean card. We're then going to spend a food to immediately activate the clean card. And we will spend a food, a hide, a stick, and a barley. And that will clean up 6 things. So 5 midden. And then we'll slide it 1. That was beautiful. We spent a ton of resources, but oh, and then we also get a roof guard. Great. Now we only need 3 food at the end of the round. This is working pretty well. Okay, we still got 1 more worker. Let's see. I would like to go get a shell so we can do this task, but then I don't have the 2 hides. It would be great to get some kind of animal. But we're just really low on resources right now. I think we're gonna have to just gather. Let's gather wool. Okay. Next, turn 2. So we got 3 cards. Man, if we would have gone stone balls, we would have been in business. But you just never know how many are come up. You might never see them, and then the first one was worthless. So we've got another shore person that would give us 4 blue symbols, which is pretty good, and a fish. But here's our first utensil. That lets us cook 1 additional thing, produce 1 less midden, 2 points, and gives us a hide. Now hides are going to be pretty important for furnishing. And as much as I really like, I wish they didn't come together because I want both of these cards. And I don't know what's going to be in our second pile, our third pile here. It's getting 4, technically 5 resources. And at the possibility of never seeing a utensil again. Yeah, I think I have to do that. It's too good. So we'll take at least 1 shell, so that we have the 3. Got 3 more. I think I'll take those in seaweed. I want 4 of something, so maybe we forego shells. Second shell, and then 2. And then a fish. Worker placement, let's go ahead and I want to get some bones, but the fish only gives me 1 bone. If I trade 4 things, I can move it up and get a sheep, but I don't have the knife. I can't get a knife without furnishing hides. Ooh, we're in a predicament here. I don't have a lot of good actions to do. So maybe taking those 4 shells wasn't. No, it's the same because we couldn't do this without a bunch of wool. It's gonna regret not having that hide. Let's see. We don't have a stone or a bones to be able to upgrade normally. I mean, I could cook the fish. It would give me 1 bone, and so I could then activate this, or I could upgrade 1. Oh, I could upgrade this gather. Produce 2 barley instead of 1. I could upgrade this gather as well, which provides a rabbit. Oh, that one's good. Or I could go to stone. Let's do that instead. I think we're going to do this. We're going to come gather at the hills to get a stone. And then we're going to come here to just the normal craft action and pay a stone and a wool to upgrade the craft. If you're not familiar with TTS, it's L to unlock a tile, F to flip it, and then L to lock it back down. Okay, so now craft is upgraded, we get that free cook. What do we do? Really want the cook action, like I'm just on a fish, right? I want to have some other to cook. Oh, I could cook shells. Okay, let's do that. It's not the best. I don't really have much else I could do other than just gathering some materials. I mean, gathering a stick's not bad for cleaning, but we're doing pretty well with our midden. So let's go ahead and... So we're going to cook our fish for 2 and then 2 shells. Okay, that's the end of the round. Got 1 last turn. Here he is again, and he's finally willing to give us a sheep. Or this girl's willing to give us a deer. The sheep would give us food, hide, bones, and wool, whereas the deer would give us food, hide, and 2 bones. I mean, fishing is great, but bro. So we're gonna gain 2 sticks. Then we're gonna spend 2 sticks. He showed up 4 times at my door, and I was like, every time, I don't want your sheep, dude. Go away. He's really persistent. Okay, what are we doing now with our actions? Let's see how much food we're going to need. That's going to be important. We are at 8. We're 8 settlers, and we have 3 doors, so we need 5 food. We've got 4 right now. We'll get a 5th cooking the deer at the end of the night. So we're actually set for food as long as we don't spend any. I could do a standard upgrade with the bones and seaweed, or bones and shell. I think I'm going to do that. So upgrade, craft, spend bone seaweed. This one. That gives us an extra symbol. And now when we collect here, we get a stone and a wool. Or a rabbit. Now it'd be really nice if we could cook more things. That's not going to happen. So instead, what we're going to do, come here now that this is better, and we'll gain our rock wool. And then because this is a grande worker, he can come back here. And we're going to upgrade now our cooking card. That will be stone and seaweed. That allows us to cook up to 6 value of food. So with our deer, we could cook some other thing wished. Okay. That is the end of the round. So we'll go into end of round bonuses. We now get that free cooking action. So we'll go ahead and cook the deer. It gives me enough food, but I think I want extra food for innovating. So let's go ahead and cook both of our shells. That should be 5 total. So we're under our 6 limit. We're good. Then we need to collect 3 midden. Oh no, we need to feed our people first. So again, 8 people minus 3 is 5. 5. And then they go out and produce 3 wood. We're doing pretty good. We're managing it pretty well, I think. All right, let's go into, is this the 4th round? It is. This is the last round of the game. We have furnished once. That's okay. Not good. Okay, we were given 4 cards here. Again, they really want us to focus on the shore. Oh, this one's pretty nice, though. It gives us on our blue symbols. Try and get 2 sets if we take a green one later. Maybe I'll do that. I think we'll do that. So 2 yellow would get 2 barley. And then we've got 4 blue, so 4 receive. Oh, so many resources. Okay. All right. 4 workers now. First thing I want to do, love to furnish that knife. Gonna need 1 more wool, which would move our slider. The other thing I could do is upgrade trade. I'm going to do that instead, because that will spend resources rather than gain them. So I'm going to send him to innovate, spending 2 bones to flip the trade card. And then I'll pay a food to immediately activate it. And I need to pay 4 of a kind, so we'll pay 4 seaweed. That will move our tracker up. And now because we flipped it, we don't have to pay knives anymore. We can pay any resource we want. So I'll go ahead and spend barley. Sheep. Okay. That was our first worker. I would love to do a furnish now. Again, I would just really know how to do furnishing. I think I'm going to go ahead and go gain a rabbit. Sheep is 3, rabbits 2, barley's 1. Yeah. I'm going to immediately go cook them right now, just so I have some more bones to deal with. So up to 6. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I've got the hides. Now we can come here to furnish. We need to spend 2 sets. I'll just spend 2 hides. And that moves this over. So we have now furnished twice. We need to get 3 more to finish our task card. And we'd like to do 2 of those via these, our focus card. We need like to do 2 more via tasks if we can. It's going to come down to what cards we draw. We want to draw a blue card to get some shells and a brown card to get some wood. Okay, that's all 4 workers, so we'll go into the next round or next turn. Only have 2 more turns. Come on, red or blue. Did not get either one. Wow, okay. This lady does give us some shells. That gets us close to the 3 shells we need. But this guy wants to give us a cow. We've also got a roof. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with food. Famous last word. But I really need to do one of these tasks. And then eventually I'm gonna have to clean as well one last time. Let's go ahead and do this lady. So we have 3 symbols because we've upgraded this card. So 1 rock, 2 wool, and then we'll immediately trade the rock in to gain 2 shells. Right at our max. Okay. Workers for this turn. We are going to go here to let's just do a normal furnish. Oh, when we furnished earlier, we didn't get our bonus reason. So I'm going to take barley. That does put us over, so now I'm not too about coming. Oh. I'm going to spend the 3 shells. Flip that card to take a furnish action. Need 2 sets, so I'll spend 1 hide, 2 wool. That up. I'm gonna gain a knife. That was good. What do we want to do next? Let's gain really close if I can. Well, we need, yeah, we still only need 2 sets. Oh no, we need to go twice more, no. 5 total. All right, well, having a rabbit is going to be equal to that, so let's do that. See, we're going to stick to gather or to clean with. Worth anything else worth? Not really. I think it's too late. Clean right now. Got food, stick. No, I've only. Oh, I've got barley. I've got 3. No, that's not bad. Let's do it. All right. We're spend a food, spend a stick, stick, spend a barley. That is -4 midden, so we'll 3 midden and a slide. Lest we have to feed our people. Okay. Last turn, here we go. Red or green? Could get our 3 sticks and just not take him up on his barley. This guy wants a sheep. Sheep is better for us. We'll do that there. That was not my standard play. I didn't get a single utensil. And I didn't focus in 1 column. I've got 2 unique sets. And I don't think we're going to be able to feed everybody, but we'll see. So we're going to gain... We need 2 rocks. Rocks. I don't think I'm going to do this rock, or this task, unfortunately. 2 rocks and then 2 wool. One sec, I gotta close my door. Okay, sorry about that. It's getting a little loud in the house. So we've spent our last card. That is our final card. We do have, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people. We would need 7 food. I don't think that's gonna happen. But we did. We gained our rocks, gained our wool, but we didn't do his bottom action, which was spend 2 rocks and a sheep. And then gonna immediately go cooking. And spend up to 6, so 3 for the sheep, 2 for the bunny. And then I need to... love to have 3 sticks to be able to do this task. I don't. I would have to gather 3 times, and that would be everything. So that's not gonna happen. If I spent 2 bones here, flip the gather card, spent a food, I would just get a stick out of it. Actually, you get 2 sticks. Oh, that's not. Let's do that. I'm gonna come here to innovate. Spend our 2 bones, which I don't think I have any other use. And then spend a food. Now we'll immediately flip this and then activate it, and I can either trade a stick for a deer or just get 2 sticks. Oops. Gained 2 sticks. Now we will come and gather 2 more sticks. I need to furnish first. Am I gonna have enough? 1, 2, 4 things. 5. Get another. You know what? Here's what we should have done. Back when we placed this green guy here, we had an extra knife, and so I'm actually going to spend that knife to gain a wool. Gain 1 extra. Okay. Now we're going to come to furnish, and we're going to spend 2 sets, so that's going to be 4 wool. And that's going to move that up and give us either a barley or a knife. I'll take the barley. Cook it at the end of the night for some food. Point. 2 points, I think. Yeah, we're version. Okay, now we're going to send this guy down here to gain 2 sticks. And then we'll immediately, as a free action, spend 3 sticks. And to furnish again, we need 3 sets, so that'll be 1 hide, 2 hides, and 2 wool. That up. This. Beautiful. Okay, and I think that's the end of our game. We need to end of round. The only thing we can cook is this barley. Lends us with 5 food. Plus 4 roofs means we can keep 9 people. So I'll go ahead and ditch her and her. Him, her, I don't know. And so we're left with 9 people here. We've got 2 sets, so that's great. Each with 4. We need to then spend all our food. And then we need to gain our midden. We weren't able to clean 1 more time, which is unfortunate. That's going to cost us 4 points. I think getting the 5. I guess we got 7 on that last action. Which, did I just gain 4 or 3? I think I said 4 because I meant 3 plus 1. Sorry. Gain 3 midden. No, I think I was clean. I think I cleaned it all up. Darn it, I shouldn't talk while I'm clicking buttons. Anyway, let's just say that we might be +1 or -1 based on endgame scoring. I'm just going to bring out the pen tool so we can write it down. First thing we're going to do is based on our furnishings. So at our current level, we get 2 points per person. We said we had 9, so that's 18. And then we get 4 points per set, and we have 2 sets. That's going to be okay. Then we're going to go on our trade track. We only got 5 points for that. We're then going to look at our upgrades. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 upgrades. So that's 16. We're then going to look at our cards. I've got 5 points in cards. They're all roofs. Well, is that all our positives? Let me just really quick look at the rulebook to make sure I missed anything. Okay. Furnish track, trade track, craft cards. Oh, any extra food or knives is worth a point. Don't have any. Okay. So immediately then we go to our negatives, and that is going to be our midden, which is 3. And then the midden tracker is -1. And then any face-up cards. We've got 1 task that we didn't do. So that's going to be a total of 18, 26, 31, 47, 52, -6 is 46. So even if we messed up and I had 1 additional midden, that would be 45, and that is a victory. I don't win this a lot. I think I win maybe 1 out of 4 games that I've played. So it's 55 is a feat if you can get there. But we did great. I think we did well with the cards that came out. It's definitely a different game than I normally play. Innovate, we showed the power off of that. Once you flip it, you get to activate. So it's basically having free workers as long as you can feed it food. Yeah, I think we did good. If you guys would do anything different, put it in the comments below. If you saw me make any mistakes, make sure you put timestamps so everybody else can learn. And let me know if you're going to back these games. Put it in the comments below. One more request, please subscribe to my channel. I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be really cool. And I'm going to go ahead and do a playthrough of the Anarchy next. So make sure you watch my channel for that to appear. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Ron. I'll see you next time. Catch you later. Bye.